She's been called a sorceress, a seductress, and even the whore queen of the East, blamed for the fall of the Roman Republic and for the downfall of not one, but two Roman generals. But who was Cleopatra really? In this episode of Historical Reputations Earned or Not, we dig into the centuries-long smear campaign against Cleopatra and ask if the real woman behind the myth was a brilliant leader or just a convenient scapegoat for Rome's failures. Much of the worst press Cleopatra got came from Octavian, later Augustus, Julius Caesar's heir and rival to Mark Antony. After Cleopatra aligned with Mark Antony, Octavian, the future emperor Augustus, needed a villain. He launched a brutal propaganda campaign to paint Cleopatra as a foreign temptress who bewitched Roman men and threatened the Republic. He even claimed she cast magic spells and used witchcraft to control Antony. She was portrayed not as a political leader, but as an immoral, dangerous, Eastern seductress. Plutarch's Life of Antony is a major source for her story, but it's full of gendered shade. Her beauty was not in itself so remarkable. It was the charm of her presence that was irresistible. Translation: she wasn't even that hot, just manipulative. He also describes her as using flattery, drama, and play acting to maintain Antony's attention, like turning politics into an erotic performance. Another Roman voice, Dio, wrote, "She enslaved him, Antony, so utterly that he would never even consider any project, however important, if she disapproved." To Dio, Cleopatra wasn't a strategist or ruler. She was a sorceress who turned Antony into a puppet. In Antony and Cleopatra, Cleopatra is both majestic and unstable, cunning past man's thought. Triple-turned whore, oh happy horse to bear the weight of Antony. Shakespeare's version is dramatic, seductive, irrational, very much the trope of a doomed femme fatale. Do any of these famous authors paint a true picture of the Egyptian ruler? Here's what those Roman smear merchants don't tell you. Cleopatra was the first of her dynasty to learn Egyptian. She spoke 7 languages. She ruled during a time of famine and instability and kept Egypt independent for 2 decades. She was a shrewd political operator who played Rome's power players against each other to preserve her throne. Yes, she had relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, but those weren't just love affairs, they were alliances. What nobody mentions is that those 2 men had relationships with her as well. Maybe it was love or, just as likely, calculated moves in a high-stakes political game. So, was Cleopatra's bad reputation earned? If you listen to the Romans, she was a manipulative foreign queen who seduced great men and brought down an empire. If you look at the facts, she was one of the most capable strategic rulers of her time, and a threat to powerful men who didn't like being outplayed by a woman. Her existence, and of course her son, could threaten the status quo for her contemporaries. Her real crime? Being a powerful, intelligent woman in a world that feared both. Cleopatra wasn't just a temptress. She was a survivor, a ruler, a linguist, a strategist, and maybe, just maybe, the victim of one of the oldest smear campaigns in history. What do you think? Was Cleopatra's reputation earned, or was it a brilliant lie that stuck? Please let us know in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and join us next time for another episode of Historical Reputations. Earned or not? Your support helps sustain educational channels like this. Stay curious out there.